Welcome to week 4. It is our last week of our Ruth study. We're going to read chapter 4 today, and this is where Boaz redeems Ruth. So I'm going to go ahead and first read the text, and then I will go over the insights that I learned as I was studying this. I wanted to bring that to you. All right, so let's start with chapter 4. So now Boaz has gone up to the gate and sat down there, and behold, the Redeemer of whom Boaz had spoken came by. So Boaz said, "Turn aside, friend, sit down here." And he turned aside and sat down. And he took 10 men of the elders of the city and said, "Sit down here." So they sat down. Then he said to the Redeemer, "Naomi, who has come back from her country of Moab, is selling a parcel of land that belonged to our relative, Elimelech. So I thought I would tell you of it and say, buy it in the presence of those sitting here and in the presence of the elders of my people. If you will redeem it, redeem it. But if you will not, tell me, that I may know, for there is no one besides you to redeem it, and I can come after you." And he said, "I will redeem it." Then Boaz said, "The day you buy the field from the hand of Naomi, you will also require Ruth, the Moabite, the widow of the dead, in order to perpetuate the name of the dead in the inheritance." Then the Redeemer said, "I cannot redeem it for myself, lest I impair my own inheritance. Take my right of redemption yourself, for I cannot redeem it." Now, this was a custom in former times in Israel concerning redeeming and exchanging. To confirm a transaction, the one drew off his sandal and gave it to the other, and this was the manner of attesting in Israel. So when the Redeemer said to Boaz, "Buy it yourself," he drew off his sandal. Then Boaz said to the elders and to all of the people, "You are witnesses this day, and I have brought from the hand of Naomi all that belonged to Elimelech, and all that belonged to Chilion and to Mahlon. Also Ruth the Moabite, and the widow of Mahlon I have brought to be my wife, to perpetuate the name of the dead in the inheritance, that the name of the dead may not be cut off from among his brothers and from the gate of his native place. You are witnesses this day." Then all the people who were at the gate and the elders said, "We are witnesses. May the Lord make the woman who is coming into your house like Rachel and Leah, who together built up the house of Israel. May you act worthily in Ephrathah and renowned in Bethlehem. And may your house be like the house of Perez, whom Tamar bore to Judah, because of the offspring that the Lord will give you by this young woman." So Boaz took Ruth, and she became his wife, and he went into her, and the Lord gave her conception, and she bore a son. Then the woman said to Naomi, "Blessed be the Lord, who has not left you this day without a redeemer. May his name forever be renowned in Israel. He shall be to you a restorer of life, and a nourisher of your old age, for your daughter-in-law, who loves you, who is more to you than 7 sons, has given birth to him." Then Naomi took the child and laid him on her lap and became his nurse. And the women of the neighborhood gave him a name, saying, "A son has been born to Naomi." They named him Obed, and he was the father of Jesse, the father of David. The genealogy of David. Now these are the generations of Perez. Perez fathered Hezron. Hezron fathered Ram. Ram fathered Amminadab. Amminadab fathered Nahshon. Nahshon fathered Salmon. Salmon fathered Boaz. Boaz fathered Obed. And Obed fathered Jesse. And Jesse fathered David. So we're in chapter 4. So chapter 4. So we have the redemption. So God with us, Emmanuel, is what we're focusing on. Remember, he was born in Bethlehem. God will save you even though you do not belong. So like Ruth, she was a Moabite. She technically did not belong because she was not an Israelite, but she still accepted in because through the marriage. And even in Jewish tradition, they could become a proselyte when they were born and born into not born into the family, but married into the family. And so Ruth, and this one, Boaz, is the house of David was built. So out of Boaz, the house of David was built, as we just saw the line. Ruth finally found rest. Ruth was, Naomi's life was restored. Ruth's love for Naomi has been steadfast throughout the book. And then Ruth and God, Naomi finds all she needs, right? She gets that final protection and food and provision. And then we see The genealogy is extended, so the blessing through Noah, Abraham, and David, and Jesus. So we see how it is was all pointing forward to show us the genealogy of David. So in this time where we just got through Judges, and where everybody was doing things as their own, God was still working out his redemption plan, and it is through David that we will see Jesus come eventually, years later. So we can see some of the great things in this chapter is how Naomi is now blessed. Remember, she called her Mara because she's bitter. Well, now she's blessed, and she has restored life in her old age, and through her daughter-in-law, who is better than 7 sons. And we can it's great to see what it comes out to at the end of Ruth is David is coming. So a king, David is coming with a man after God's own heart. So the next you get into Samuel, and that we see that the monarchy coming to Israel. So that's exciting. That was what I learned. It was very impactful. There is a sermon series that if you're interested in, I can recommend to you that I helped with studying for this. I've actually listened to it twice now because it was so great. It really helps you to see the gospel and Christ in all in this, especially in this story of Ruth. So I hope you enjoyed this. I really enjoyed sharing it with you guys, and I hope to do more videos like this soon. I hope you guys have a great day.